Greetings travellers, in this vid I'll be going through some of the details of how I built the Totoro base in No Man's Sky. This is not a tutorial, just a bit of a behind the scenes building vid for anyone who might be curious. The first step was to find the right planet. I wanted to find one that had that vivid Ghibli green grass and blue skies. After a few weeks of hunting, I did eventually find one that fit the bill. Then it was a case of scouring the planet to find a nice flat spot for the house, with a hill behind with a shallow cave to build Totoro's grotto. I started with the grotto and used a supersized wonder projector for Totoro himself, and then I set about decorating the cave with plants on the walls and ground. I then built the forest path leading up to the grotto that May uses to discover Totoro in the film. This path and the grotto used several hundred plants, but I wanted to create that feeling of a lush, dense forest. May travels through a kind of tunnel of plants near the house before entering the forest, so I used these ruined arches as a scaffold to place the looping grass, and then filled in the gaps with some leafy vegetation. The iconic great tree was made with a supersized glitch. The Shimenawa sacred rope around the tree had to be built first and then tweaked several times to fit the tree as best I could. The placement had to be done from a distance because the tree's collision boundary was so huge. I built the small shrine at the base of the tree and decorated the roof and walls with plants to age it up a bit. I placed these where I thought leaves would naturally collect. I partially buried a ruined monolith in the ground and then backfilled it for the stone block near the shrine. I also used this technique for the kutsunugi ishi, or shoes off stones, at the house. So with the forest done, it was time to build the house. I spent quite a lot of time researching the layout of the house, from blueprints to film scenes to model kits. It became clear quite soon that I would have to free place most of it, as the house is quite irregular in design. I started with the iconic study. The walls are made from colour glitched wood walls, as I wanted them to be as white as possible. A lot of the wall parts are resized and were placed by hand. The roof tiles are similarly resized and recoloured. They are floor panels. To simulate the galvanised iron roof, I used scaled down recoloured stone steps. I had to accommodate for them hovering. Then came the beacon update. Unfortunately, this update changed a lot of colours of some parts in pre-existing bases. There was no real workaround, so I would have to rebuild a large part of the base. Because so much of the base had used resized parts with different colour palettes, they couldn't be recoloured through the menu. I stepped away for a while, but eventually came back to it. I redid a lot of the walls and the shed roof, and finally got the main roof on. I ended up doing limited interiors because I had hit the 300 part limit, and the base sits at exactly 3K. Well, I hope that was interesting to someone. Please leave a like and subscribe if you wish, and as always, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you later.